Good morning, gang. David Guppelt, Thinker Farmer here. It is December 26, 2022, and I am here at my home place with my family. We've been celebrating Christmas, and we had a really cold spell for South Louisiana. The temperatures got down to 23 degrees for 2 or 3 days, which is most years that doesn't happen. And we are looking here at the lemon and orange trees, which are loaded with fruit. I'll go check that out in a moment. And just thought I'd share this moment with you all this morning. Last few days, well, a little bit of background. Historically, my family and I have protected trees, and we generally, whenever we get a cold spell, 25 degrees or colder for our citrus trees, we cover them. Historically, we use black plastic, but what we've discovered is black plastic traps too much heat, and as soon as the sun comes out, it heats the plastic up and can scorch your trees. So overheat them, really make the environment inside your trees too damp. So we used clear plastic, which holds heat really well, and we left the plastic on literally the last few days, and we just vented them at both ends. You can see those clips here. In fact, I'm taking the plastic off today because it's only going to be 32 degrees, maybe low 30s tonight, which isn't cold enough for large trees. Anyway, what I would do the last few days is, of course we can go inside and see, is we would vent the trees on both ends, just peel the plastic back, both ends, so that you get airflow through there and it doesn't heat up during the day, rather than taking the plastic off. And you can see, I mean, I'll tell you what, this is my favorite tree right here. It's our orange tree, and we've been eating fruit on it for over a month, but it's just absolutely loaded with fruit here. And I'm hoping to take some back with me to Missouri. You can't do anything like this in Missouri. This is probably one of my favorite things about South Louisiana, is all the citrus you can grow. And one thing I do want to point out about the plastic this time, this is something we had never done before, but it was a lifesaver. So we had a really large piece of plastic that was a rectangle. It was a 20 by 100, way too big, or rather too long for what we needed. So we cut it in half, and then we took these 1x2s, and well, this actually isn't even a 1x2, it's a tomato stake. And we wrapped the plastic and screwed it together, and then used that to essentially make a sheet that was 40 by 50. And you got to realize, when a tree gets as big as these trees here, 20 feet is narrow. That won't even, that'll barely cover half the tree. But a sheet that's 50 by 40, 1,000 square feet, is large enough to cover. And of course we use cinder blocks. You really have to get something that's heavy enough. But anyway, historically we would just, if we needed a larger sheet, we would put it together with these, oh, I can't even think what they're called, gang. These clothespins. And they work, except for the wind. If you get a really roaring wind, it'll rip the clothespins apart, and then all your work of tying the plastic together doesn't work. So wrapping it and then screwing it to those little 1x2s worked great. And it also made it a lot easier to push the plastic over the top, because it essentially gave you a staff to push it over. It's a job putting this stuff on. Let's go look at the lemon tree before I do anything else. I mean, the critical thing here, most of my viewers are probably don't live in South Louisiana, but I mean, you could grow, yeah, you really can't grow citrus much farther north. So I don't know how much of this is applicable to you, or how much of this is just teaser or fun. This is our lemon tree, and these are Meyer lemons. So they're as I understand, it's a cross. They're not really sour lemons. They're sweeter. Someone told me they're a cross between an orange and a lemon. I don't know if that's true. It would make sense, because they're not nearly as sour as lemons. They're still tart, but they're just not as tart. And this tree here, this lemon tree is, I mean, and it's loaded too. We've been picking lemons off of it for a month or more, just like the orange tree, but it's just got so much fruit on it. This lemon tree is 25 years old, and the orange tree is equally big, but it gets more sun, and we haven't pruned it back as much, and it's only 15 years old. And so the orange tree, the lemon tree, has been to full maturity for 10-ish years, 10, 15 years. The orange tree is really just getting to its full physiological expression now. It really takes 8 to 10 years, kind of like Greg Judy says, that you need to give farming 10 years to see if it'll work. An orange tree, I mean, the first few years it's just growing. It doesn't produce much. It takes 7, 8 years really before you start getting productivity. But once you get to that point, man, the last 6, 7 years, I mean, we're probably, if I had to estimate, I'd say we're going to get 4 bushels of oranges off of this one tree. And when I say bushels, I mean a bushel baskets full. Anyway, gang, just wanted to kind of show this video. I'm going to take all this plastic off. This is probably the most abundant thing in South Louisiana right now is our citrus trees. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. I've been kind of out of pocket. I've just been focused on spending time with my family and doing some different work projects for them, and cooking some good food, eating some good food, and etc. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and are getting ready for the start of a new year. Take care.